Boy, I was just up here not even a couple weeks ago, and there was hundreds of them. And that's the thing, that these mushrooms have a very short life cycle that runs about 7 days. In fact, our weekdays, our 7-day weekdays, it's said, according to John Allegro, not only does it have to do with the belief of the 7 days of creation, but these mushrooms have about a 7-day life cycle. And of course, if you read Exodus, you'll see that Moses would send the children of Israel to go out and collect the manna in the midbar, which is pastures where the cattle roamed and stuff, in the morning while the dew collected on the ground, which is about when these things pop up, because they really like to pop up during the Earth's electromagnetic induction in the morning or in the thunderstorms. This is why it's also associated with Thor's hammer, and there's stories of the warriors, the Viking warriors, along with other warriors, even the Gnostic warriors, the Knights Templars. They were digging around in the horses' chambers and Solomon's chambers looking for, I think, Paniolus mushrooms grow in the horse manure. Man, on the way up here the other week, on the side of the road, there was just a ton of cattle, and my wife and I were like, oh my God, you could see these giant piles of holy cow, holy shit, and holy sacraments sticking out of the top. I mean, there must have been, a hand's height coming out of them, and they're just dozens and dozens coming out of each one. I was so tempted to jump that farmer's fence, or jump that guy's fence and grab some, but I don't need to do anything disrespectful. Yeah, I'm just here at the wrong time. The best time to go and look for these, especially in this area, is right before Christmas. There's an unbelievable amount of traffic out here. Usually you don't hear nothing all day. So we're like 35, 40 miles out in the middle of nowhere from the main road. Boy, I lost track of what I was going to say, but yeah, usually I find at least half a dozen or more species out here. But yeah, right around Christmas, that's what I was talking about. And of course Easter, it's a good time to come find them. And then May with the rains, April showers in May, and then of course the Maypole celebration, which I've made a video about, which is we celebrate the Axis Mundi, where we would take the psilocybe mushrooms or whatever to get that significant time dilation so that we can stare at the pole star and watch the Earth spin. That takes a lot of patience, and a lot of gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Determination. You have to sit there for a very long time before you actually start to see the stars spin around. And you have to really slow your breathing, wait till your eyes are completely... You have to get enough psilocybin mushrooms in you to get your eyes preternaturally dilated and really experience that time dilation. That's why you see tracers when you do significant amounts of sacraments, or LSD is a synthetic dimethyltryptamine. Well, man, I really wanted to show you. I mean, usually I come out here and there's just patches of them everywhere. In fact, there was an article in the newspaper the other day about how they had an unusual amount of fungal growth in the area, and they were warning people that some of them were edible. There was a lot of Boletus, and I think that's how you say it. I found quite a bit of amanitas and a couple of mushrooms that they said were edible but were disgusting, so I didn't even try them. Spongy bottom things, and like I said in my other videos, don't ever eat one of these unless you're hanging out with Paul Stamets and he tells you it's cool, or some shaman in the jungle, or you know what you're doing, of course. I mean, I'm not a mycologist at all, but the mushrooms just fascinating because it's wrapped up into so many philosophical ideas, and I study world religions and philosophy and just the history of mankind, and they have a major part in it. I mean, they're Earth's grand molecular deconstructor. They come in, their spores are one of the hardest known substance to man, if not the hardest, and they keep best at the temperature in outer space. So you can imagine right now that there's probably fungus spores just drifting all throughout interstellar space, and they're falling into the little sweet spots, little Goldilocks zones where they come in and they start biodegrading all the rocks and stripping the carbon down, and they actually begin the building blocks for life to take hold, which is why I believe another reason they were so exonerated for thousands and thousands of years, and they still are today with our, just about every holiday. I have found that it's tied into some kind of psychedelic use, whether it's Christmas or Easter or Maypole Day, or if it's not psychedelic, it's astrological, of course. What a bummer. I finally brought my camera up to show you guys what this place has, but I'm just a little too late. We need a nice thunderstorm and they'll just come popping up. They're so hard to find though, because they are hidden, they're buried underneath all these pine needles, and I've done it for a long time, so I can usually spot them, but it's just not the right conditions. Just the other day, there was some monster ones out here just the other day. I think that they perhaps are the fruit of life and the fruit of knowledge. When you watch any of my videos about our imperial system of knowledge and how it's based in sun movement, mathematics, our heartbeats, our hands, all that stuff, when you alter your consciousness, you have a tendency to really get paranoid, or a heightened state of awareness about your own self, and I kind of think that's what led us to discovering the mathematical system that we use today. Not to mention that when you take a whole bunch of psilocybe mushrooms, you see really strange triangles and squares and geometric shapes when you close your eyes, especially when the time dilation, when you really start slowing down. Those photons, when your eyes are closed, they hit your eyes, and when it's all slowed down, you start to see the geometry more than just streaks of light. And I think they might be the fruit of life as well. Of course, these were forbidden from us at one point. My own beliefs is that, I made a video about climbing the cosmic ladder with our body, and basically we had pretty accurate, a very, very decent accurate presentation of the speed of light, and the distance between the Earth and the Moon and the Sun, enough for thousands, and this knowledge goes back thousands of years because it's embedded in the pyramids and all of the ancient structures around Earth, like Stonehenge and such. Perhaps we climbed the cosmic ladder before and we fell, and we weren't responsible. We abused our power, we fought, something happened. There's all kinds of speculations about, ancient atomic wars. There's no doubt we had catastrophes back then. But I wonder, if we did climb that cosmic ladder once before, and all these crazy things they talk about. See, that's what, if you watch my videos on our imperial system of knowledge and fractal, scale invariant harmony, which is basically fractality, you find the middle ground, it kind of throws that whole ancient alien thing out the window. Kind of debunks it right away. Like some sky gods came down with 12 fingers and all that malarkey. There's always been tall people. I explained in my video that the average height runs from 8'6" to 2 feet tall. It's no wonder back then, when things were a little more primal, if you were 8 feet tall, you probably ruled the kingdom, because everybody would be scared shitless of you. Maybe if they, all this crazy stuff that you hear when you look into like Richard Hoagland's work and the stuff on Mars and the moon and all these supposed bases they're finding, which, none of that's absolutely verifiable, but I bet if anything, they're probably just going to find out that we were up there at one point. Because if it was another alien from another, I don't know how I got into aliens. I guess I was talking about space, but if there was another alien that came down here, it would be timed to their heartbeat and their sun and their moon and their system of knowledge. And this entire system of knowledge that everybody speculates is from aliens completely synchronizes with our heartbeats and our hands and our spinal cords. So, we're the ancient aliens. Well, I'm sorry, folks. I really wanted to show you something. I'll keep looking. If I find anything, I'll show you what I score. But no Easter eggs for me today. Anyways, have a great day, people. Be blessed.